Good morning. Today's a really good day. Yesterday was my birthday, and the day before was my twins' birthday, and we just had a blast. I feel my whole body. um, so, the day before yesterday, we went to the Mediterranean, to the beach there with our metal detectors. I found some cool stuff. I found a whole bunch of like coin money, probably about 20 shekels worth, but it's fun anyway. And I found two gold rings, and I found that are really nice. And I found, I'll show it to you later in a different video. I'm out on the morning walk now. I got my kids up for school. They're getting ready, and I have to get back in a few minutes. So I only have a few minutes. I'm out with the dogs. And so and I already did my morning routine. I have my first cup of coffee, but I like the fact that they went back to school. They went back to school yesterday, so it's going to get me into a tighter routine, routine of getting up and getting out. I have intentions, and I'm working on getting my site built by the 16th of this month. 16th, 17th is the deadline, and I have a feeling that good things are going to happen from that. So on Saturday, which was my twin's birthday, I went over to his house, and then we drove out to the Mediterranean Sea, and we went diving for the day, and then we went out to a restaurant. Um, and I got a really, really, really valuable lesson, a super valuable lesson. Um, it seems kind of silly, but it's a super valuable lesson. We went after the beach. We went to a restaurant to eat, a hummus place, and the place that we wanted to go was closed because it was Saturday. So we went to another place, and the service was really bad. We sat down at the table, and they got our order. First of all, we had to order twice. They got our order wrong, and then and they were yelling. The owners of the restaurant were, it was like this tiny little restaurant thing, and the owners were yelling back and forth, and it was just a really bad atmosphere to sit and sit and eat at. And then there was a table, like we were sitting on the inside table. It was about five, maybe six in the afternoon already by the time we got back from the beach and went there. It was in Haifa, but I love that area. It's a beautiful area. It's in Haifa. It's very mixed. So the restaurant that we were at was an Arab restaurant. So it's diverse. Haifa is a mixed city, so it's Arab and Jewish, all mixed in, Hebrews or Jewish or whatever you want to call it. So, and then they started putting the owner of the place started lifting up the chairs on the table right next to us, and one of the chairs fell on me while I was sitting there. See the red marks? I don't know if you can see, like it's like a bruise, red bruise, not the scratch above the scratch. It's like red bruise. I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, the chair fell on me, and I told them, and they didn't say sorry or anything. They just picked it back up and set it back on the table. But they were like shutting down the restaurant on us while we were eating. So then when we went to leave, I told my twin that I was going to pay for it, right? Because it was his birthday, so it's my invite, right? So when I paid for it, and then we asked for the bill, and the bill wasn't coming, so we got it from the table and we walked over to and they did math and they told us how much, and then I left a tip. And afterwards, my twin said, "What did you leave a tip for? That was horrible service." Why? Because you feel like you have to. And we got down to the point of the realization that I had and that I felt really crappy about. I left 10 shekel tip, which is not a lot of money, but for a 60 shekel bill, it's more than 10%. And he said, "What did you leave that for?" Because you're supposed to. The service, they didn't deserve it for the service. And he was right. And the point was is that I in some way don't feel worthy of getting good service. I mean, if a chair fell on me and I still left them a tip, for what? And it was a big lesson. And it was more than a lesson in just don't leave a tip when you get bad service. It's a lesson in what do I deserve in life? Like, I deserve to be treated better than that. I don't deserve to sit at it's finding my own self worth. So that was a serious, serious lesson in self worth. Um, On the way to there, my twin and I were having a conversation, and he again was telling me how he sees me as his best friend and not as a romantic partner, and that the and I told him that I'm more and more being able to accept that. More and more I feel like numb when he says that to me. And he said, well, the real test is going to be when I get into a romantic relationship, and then we'll see how you manage. And that's true. Um, so I've been thinking about that a lot, and I feel more and more and more let go, more and more and more not holding on. I truly do want him as a friend and not as a romantic. And I told him, eventually those feelings are going to pass, and then we'll be left with a friendship. But anyway, I'm saying it fast just because I want to kind of tell. I'm not going to come back to the story again, unless it comes up in some way. But so I just kind of want to say the highlights of that day, and we had a really good time. And then yesterday was my birthday, and we didn't make plans from the day before to do anything. But in the morning when I got up, I knew that I wanted to go diving on the other side of the Sea of Galilee. Um, and so it was like I got the kids out to school. It was their first day of school. And as soon as I got them out, I called him. I made them lunch really quick so they'd have something to eat when they got home. And then I called him, and he was up. It was like a little after 8. And sometimes I know that he sleeps in, but I guess during the week he gets up earlier. He was up. And I asked him if he wanted to go do something, if he wanted to go with me diving on the other side of the Sea of Galilee, and then we can go out to lunch. And he said that he really wanted to get some work done. And I said, come on, it's my birthday. I want to do something special. And on the other side of the waves start in the afternoon on the other side of the Sea of Galilee. And you can't go diving when there's waves. So so he said, okay. So he came and picked me up from the intersection. I live about on an access road about 5 minutes into the middle of nowhere on an access road that comes off of the main Highway 90. So I went down to the gas station at the Highway 90, and he picked me up from there, and we went around because I don't have insurance. I've been driving a little bit. Like I went over to his house the day before when we left from there, and I went to the Rob Roy. I made a cake for the Rob Roy and handed it out at the Rob Roy. So that was my official um, cake making handing out, even though I don't really feel like the last, I don't know, 20 years, I don't really celebrate my birthday all that much. And if I do, it kind of feels like, oh, do I really have to? But these last couple birthdays have been just spectacular. The last couple birthdays, all of a sudden, I am having fun celebrating my birthday. So my son is calling. Yesterday we had a blast. I got home after dark, and my son is calling. He wants them. They're getting ready for school, so I'm gonna head back. So thank you for watching. And if there's anything that comes up later on, I'll make a new recording, a new video.